ultra-processed foods kids are eating, you're probably imagining, I don't know, something like Dino Nuggies, Uncrustables, Welch's Fruit Snacks, of course, and maybe a Sunny D. I feel like that is the meal that like pops up in my head when I think about kids ultra-processed food. But here's the insane thing, okay? That's not the prototypical meal. According to this new study, most of the ultra-processed foods being consumed by kids are not the usual suspects. They're actually foods that are pretending to be healthy. I'll let this guy from Reddit who actually has a kid take it away. Most of the UPF that the toddlers consumed came from sources that are generally believed to be healthier, such as breakfast cereals and flavored yogurts. If you've had a child recently, you'll be aware that the vast majority of food marketed to them is UPF disguised as healthy food. Things like fruit and grain bars, yogurts of all sorts, melt in your mouth type puffy foods, or cereals that are supposedly safer for those new to chewing. It's a really successful and deceptive marketing campaign taking advantage of parents who are well-intended but lacking knowledge of UPF. 100%. And that is what's so frustrating about these foods. It's one thing if you're intentionally buying junk food. It's quite another if you're being tricked into buying something that you sincerely believed is healthy. I mean, look at this kid's UPF right here. So even if you're trying to be the healthiest parent you can possibly be, you are set up at every single turn to fail. Because you'd think foods that promised you that they were healthy for your child would be. Is that really so much to ask? If a product calls itself a fruit snack, for example, and boasts tons of vitamins and minerals, you would hope that it contains at least some fruit. But for some strange reason, that is just not the world that we live in. Most kids' snacks have the salt, sugar, and fat cranked and then hidden as best as possible in the ingredients list. And kids' brains are just not ready to deal with foods that are potentially engineered to be addictive. Ultra-processed food addiction also teaches the young brain what to expect from food, like how much sugar reward one should get from eating a snack, which makes healthier options less appealing. It's almost virtually impossible for a child or even a 14 or 15-year-old to be able to override all of this biology for very long, he added. In other words, a diet made up of 80% scientifically engineered junk food changes what kids want to and are actually willing to eat. But yeah, this new generation of kids is becoming straight up dependent on ultra-processed foods. They're eating tons of it, and then it's making them want to eat nothing but it. Like, if you can hook a kid in childhood, you basically have them for life. Which reminds me of that documentary called Junk Foods May Be Addictive for Certain Subpopulations, and concern that some foods may be addictive for certain subpopulations, including children. There is currently no scientific consensus to support that concern, said IFT's Chief Science and Technology Officer Brian Hitchcock in an email. Food addiction is also not recognized by the World Health Organization's International Classification of Diseases and is a subject of debate in the scientific community, according to the International Food and Beverage Alliance and Industry Association. Oh, well, that's good to know. I guess ultra-processed food addiction isn't a problem after all. Oh wait, what's that? Both of these organizations are arms of the food industry?
Nice comment, man. There you have that one. That was, yeah, that's thanks all to the step once again, Esau has changed the times and laws. Go to Daniel 9. Actually, Daniel 7. Daniel 7 verse 25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and he did that by speaking out his plans and plotting his plans and bringing them out to destroy the Lord's chosen people, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And that's what Esau has done. He's changed the way people eat. It's only through the Lord's grace and mercy, knowledge that which the water Yahweh Shemashai, we've been able to do that. That we're actually changing our diets and doing what we need to do for the Lord by eating more healthier. Because these fucking bitch ass idiots didn't teach us none of this growing up. So yeah. That was just an extra on that one, on that clip there. Anyway, we're gonna go with this one here. Oh, we got that one there. Uh-huh. This one here. So, okay, here's the other clip here.
Oh, honey, I know.
Okay, so he's gonna show. Okay, the intros actually fits perfectly. This guy is gonna show you. And there's many documentaries exposing the secrets, poisons behind these certain sugars and sauce, like this one down there. But yeah. Pay attention to how this guy is acting here in the camera here. Look at this one.
I know the fast food's getting into my head, and I'm frying my brain in front of millions of people.
That's a demon, man. And that's actually horrifying to watch. I'm gonna skip to this one here.
Whole healthy foods provide your brain with the vitamins, minerals, fats, antioxidants, and phytochemicals that support the tiny electrical communications between your brain cells, the communications that allow you to perform every function in your life. These communications are your movement, your memory, your mood, and everything in between. Everything, pretty much everything that makes you distinctly you. Now, obviously, Nikocato's diet isn't exactly nutrient dense, but as bad as that is, the real threat lies in what he is eating, not what he isn't. His mukbang diet consists of massive quantities of foods that have been shown to interfere with essential blood flow to the brain, slow communication between brain cells, and even attack the fragile brain through aggressive molecules called free radicals. And what's even more terrifying is that even if Nikocato is eating healthy off camera, the sheer quantity and frequency of his diet presents a unique challenge, in that as you consume these dangerous compounds, you need to go above and beyond eating healthy food to have any hope of balancing out the ratio of bad to good. In a quote from Dr. Joel Fuhrman, "It's impossible to have normal brain function and a healthy emotional life when the majority of your food calories come from fast food. Not only are these processed foods leading to premature disease, they are negatively affecting our ability to function in everyday life." As a quick disclaimer, before we get into the more serious part of the video, I want to be clear that I'm not claiming at all that everything we're going to discuss is inevitable and true as it pertains to Nikocato's health and personality. This video's purpose is to highlight some of the data surrounding the role diet plays in our well-being and personality, and Nikocato's story just adds interesting context. At this point, Nikocato may have...
And this dude could have been what? You see that violin that's him playing it. He could have been, in a past life, this dude could have been, the most healthy individual you could think you would have ever met if you were to meet him in a past life. See, this is just shows you how low and debased. Really, when you think about it, Esau Edom had. You can blame yourself all fucking day, bro. I don't give a fuck, bro. You can walk down the fucking street and move on. If you don't see that also and blame Esau for that, bro, you're completely fucking off.
Uploaded more videos of him crying on camera than...
Yeah, meditate on that one and meditate on the destruction of Esau with that one. Alright.
any other YouTuber.
Better. The lighting has been really off these past couple of days, and so have my emotions.
He'll often go from moaning over tacos to bursting into tears, sometimes before the food has even left his mouth. Again, it's quite obvious that not every temper tantrum Nikocado posts is real.
By the way, if you're looking for a good little thing to scare your children for this Halloween, just play this dude here without any sound. You don't even have to play it. You don't even have to. You won't even have to play the sound. Just play this in front of your house for Halloween, and it'll be enough to scare all the kids away. Even the demons. Because, in Halloween, it goes back to them having to put on the costumes to scare the demons, And then when you were to knock on the house to say trick or treat, if they didn't give you anything, you would go back to a certain place, cast spells on that demon, and then at some point, demons would go into the house, and then curse that individual, and someone would eventually die in the house. That's what Halloween goes back to. It was an old English, which it really wasn't a holiday like how it is popular now. It was more of a less popular, but that would be a certain holiday that witches and warlocks would do. Which holiday really goes back to holy day. I don't really want to call it a holiday. I don't really like using that word, but
is it all fake?
when it comes to these pagan festivals, but so these people can know what I'm saying, right? Holiday.
According to many different studies, a calorically dense, nutritionally barren diet, rife with processed foods, refined carbohydrates, and trans fatty acids can result in emotional instability and an inability to control or regulate those emotions. This can mean very rapid onset changes in mood, much like the numerous mood changes Nikocado seems to experience in one 20-minute mukbang. It can also mean crying at even the slightest provocation.
And I was so excited. I was so excited to compare Popeyes to Chick-fil-A.
Along with feeling more negative emotions overall and experiencing those emotions very deeply, often leading to depressive symptoms. Depression in the brain has many causes, of course, but science now shows that the food we eat possesses the undeniable ability to worsen or alleviate symptoms, or even bring them on out of nowhere. Many different studies have found that fast food and high glycemic foods show a relationship with depression, and not only that, but a dose-dependent relationship. Meaning the worse your diet is, the more likely that you'll experience these symptoms, and the more severe those symptoms can be. I want to emphasize the dose-dependent element of impacts a lot more than just our body weight. It's an incredibly important factor in our overall health and well-being. And the good news is that goes both ways. In an important review of 16 studies with over 46,000 participants, researchers found that adopting a healthier diet, increasing whole foods, and decreasing processed ones drastically improved mood and reduced feelings such as hopelessness, anxiety.
And I think this dude's just a mole. That's what the feminine characteristics is about. That's probably why he already has those demons in him that's eating that type of shit. Yeah, because according to the law, you're supposed to kill a faggot, a homosexual. So technically speaking, just a saying I like to use is if you see a faggot and something doesn't click in your mind that's bothering you about that, you're mentally ill. You can officially say you're mentally ill.
And other depressive-like symptoms. And this was also found to be dose-dependent. The more participants improve their diet, the greater the improvements to their psychological well-being. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not quite sure that depressive is the word I would use to describe the bulk of Nick Icato's breakdowns. As it doesn't quite account
That's what you call literally smacking.
for the element of rage we often see in his videos.
He's in the Travis Scott Red Hobo Spirit, Rage and Spirit. He should be in Sicko. He should have been in the Sicko Mode music video.
One of the most striking findings of studies into individuals with poor and overly processed diets is that eating the wrong foods can make us angry, even violent.
Ouch, my foot got a Charlie horse.
Aylesbury Jail is a high-security British prison, notorious for inmate-on-inmate violence, mass brawls, and gang activity. And the unlikely setting for an important study that tested the association between antisocial behavior and nutritional status. Prison food isn't exactly known for being the best or healthiest diet around. And inmates at Aylesbury were often known to avoid eating their vegetables. But nutrient-wise, their diets were presumably still a better starting point than Nick Icato's routine meals might be. Over the 2-year trial, the study authors discovered that when the prisoners were supplemented with the missing essential fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals not found in their diet, the number of violent offenses committed within the prison fell by a whopping 37%. And when the trial ended and the prisoners returned to their old way of eating, the violence among inmates quickly returned.
Assumption that's not a weapon. And I feel like I'm just so angry all the time. I'm always...
According to Dr. Drew Ramsey, a leader in the field of nutritional psychiatry, without the proper nutrients, the body cannot produce the appropriate chemicals and hormones required for clear thinking and healthy mood, which in turn can lead to irrational and even dangerous behaviors. The diet of the average American has undergone a dramatic shift in the last 50 years, with one of the biggest changes being the spike in total calories consumed from vegetable oils.
We already know vegetable oils ain't really vegetables in those. Those are all poisons and chemicals in those. They just call it vegetable oils because it sounds healthier, but it's not even any oil. It's actually oil from used up machines and shit, or corn. But then it's not even any corn in it. It's super processed of this and that and that. It's made in a scientific lab. I mean, you might as well kind of like be using gas for your oil in it. I bet you can take vegetable oil, and it's way more flammable than fucking olive oil, natural organic olive oil, which someone can put that to the test, Lord, as well, and just see, see if I'm lying.